This episode is brought to you by AAMI. Clangers happen. Lucky you're with AAMI. Welcome back, everyone. Another big episode of Tommy Talks today. We have Sammy Collins in the building, straight from Surfers Paradise. The Gold Coast Suns full-back and ex-Freo Docker, my old teammate. We have a great chat about the tough times at Freo and how he's delisted, sent back to the streets and found something down at Werribee. And now he's at the Gold Coast Suns, pivotal part of the leadership group and doing great things. You're going to love this one. A story about resilience, perseverance and hard work. Tune in right here. Aces, I know I always go on about the RIXXs, but I got huge news. We have all our styles and colours restocked on the website right now. It's been months. We ran out of stock, but we're back. Get online, grab some sunglasses at rixxeyewear.com.au right now and use our little discount code ACES if you want a 20% discount code on the house. Righto, let's get into the show. Righto, we're back into it. We got a big guest today. Big Sammy Collins in the building. You've already heard the intro. Big fella, how are we?
Yeah, very good, mate. I haven't heard the intro, so
we do it afterwards. I like to break it all down. And this is a big podcast for me. No one probably knows that we used to play footy together and carry on at Fremantle, but you've got a great story that needs to be told, and it's you're still obviously writing it, and you're at the Suns there, but a great story. I think a lot of people will relate to, and they won't believe it at the moment because if we're looking at your beard and your haircut and look like who's inspiring that look? If I summed you up, it's not how you look.
No, absolutely not. And I think that's the beauty of it is it's kind of changed a bit, Train. Like, certainly not the person that I was growing up and just kind of just let it go now and just like it is what it is.
Remember the guy from Melbourne, Carroll? Do you get him?
Yeah, Nathan Carroll. Yeah, I had that a bit. I actually did put the 6 across the top. Georgia didn't like it, so that was the end of that one.
I love it. We wouldn't have been able to roll around with the beards and the nice haircut back at Freo, would we?
I don't think I would have the balls to do that, mate. No, absolutely no way.
But no, as I was saying, as we're going to get into it, your story is elite. Overlooked, I don't know, you can tell me in a minute how many times, and to be where you are now and, a pivotal player, a leadership group member and someone that's kind of helping turn the whole footy club around, it's a testament to you. But I just couldn't wait to get you on, and it's finally worked out because we don't have a studio in Gold Coast, and you're a busy man on the farm. You check out. You don't really like doing too much of this, do you? So it's great to have you in the building.
Yeah, no, it's good to be here, mate. As I said to you, I'm in high demand this week with chats with Rat was chasing me.
I told the Rat, come on, mate. You can't be playing twos. Rat, you got to get the big fella when you're playing ones.
Yeah, exactly right. He took that to heart, but no, it's good to be here, mate.
No, he's a good man, Rat. And if you're listening, chats with Rat, he's been on fire. I've seen some of the pods he's done, and had Dimmer on. I think he was telling me that he might have they might have got dropped the day that he did it, and they still had a great chat. So it just sums him up. He's a good man, and so is Dimmer, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. No, both good people, and Dimmer's pretty down to earth, so it was quite funny. And he kept going back to, "Am I getting a game next week?" But I think the answer was no. Yeah. So
it's good. I love Dimmer's interview. He's probably one of the best to listen to. I was saying to my mate last night, I watched the press conference and I go, what's the point of these after a game? They're not even answering it with, there's not much integrity with their answers. No. It's a straight bat. They don't want to say the wrong thing. But with Dimmer, he's got more character and more life, and he, even a few swear words. Not that we care, but it's just more real. I feel like he's been he's been more real and organic when he talks to the media. And I don't know what he's like with you boys, but how have you found him?
Mate, yeah, he's unreal. I think he kind of nailed it, pretty organic, he's pretty level. He I don't know, the way he speaks to you is he fills you with confidence. He brings you along for the journey and you kind of really believe in his words. But he's also had 14, 15 years to kind of learn what he's doing. But yeah, he's absolutely elite. So it's pretty awesome.
What assistant coaches are up there before we talk about yourself? Who's the team behind Dimmer?
So we got Brad Miller. He's coaching the forwards.
Millsy actually. Giants. Yeah, Millsy, great man.
Brad Miller's with the forwards. Sean Griggs doing the mids, and then Josh Drummond does the backs.
Josh Drummond, is it the Brisbane? The premium. He's a premium operator with the foot.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Left peg, I think it was.
And then Griggy, he's actually someone that probably he'd be hunting a head coaching gig, I reckon. There's been a lot of talk about him and where he's been at Geelong when they won. He obviously he won 3 or 4 at the Tides. Premiership ruckman. He's played all positions, very intelligent. And now he's up at the Suns and you're playing really good footy.
Yeah, no, he's really good. He's really impressive as well. I feel like he's pretty young in terms of the way he goes about it, and yeah, he seems like he's got an old head on young shoulders because he's still pretty young for a coach, I suppose. But
yeah, much younger, especially. Yeah, I mean, we're probably used to just having older ones. It's good to see young coaches. They probably relate to players a bit more. I don't know. I feel like especially if they've won 3 or 4 flags,
if
they say something, you're going to do it, aren't you?
Yeah, you're going to listen to what they
let's dive into you though, mate. Let's just start from give everyone a bit of an introduction. You know, where you grew up and you know. I think for blokes that grew up in Melbourne, it's TSC Cup, you know, the state squads, and then you get drafted. That's the dream, 18-year-old. Just tell everyone about your journey into the AFL system.
Yeah, so I grew up in Doncaster in the eastern suburbs here. I was going to Whitefriars College down in Donvale. Donvale was my local junior footy club, and I don't think I played under 16s, but under 18s I was playing Oakley Chargers. I was like just in their zone. Pretty much played the whole season there, which was great, in the back line. Went undrafted, which was no real surprise.
So you weren't expecting to get drafted?
Nah, definitely not. And like, it's probably kind of been how I've been for my whole career. Is probably just didn't really understand that I'm actually an all right footballer.
Yeah.
So kind of just like cruising around. It's pretty cool. But and then from there I went to Box Hill Hawks. So I was there for 3 years from 2012 to 2015. Fair few games in the twos.
Really?
Yeah. So my first season in the twos, and then I think at that time you could play like a 23rd man in the senior. So I had my 4 games there, and then I was crook after that. Then kind of in and out of the team there, and 3 years later you end up getting drafted to Freo.
Hang on, you don't just get drafted. When you're playing in the twos, are you underdeveloped at that point? Where did it click to start playing ones and playing well? Because you're talking yourself down a bit here. You were picked, your 3rd round draft pick for a reason. So what were you doing differently when you got picked up at 21?
Nah, I don't really, to be honest, I don't really know. Like I definitely started to play more senior football after my first season. I had glandular in my first one. I lost like a lot of weight. Then kind of came back and like I was just like an all right footballer, like never a great kick, still not a great kick, but
great mark.
Yeah, great mark, could spoil the ball, could cover the ground all right. And I ended up playing seniors in kind of my second year in and out, and probably played the whole season, I'm going to say. In my 3rd season there, I think we went on to play in 2 grand finals.
Which helps.
Yeah, which helps. I was actually playing forward in one of those grand finals because like when you're aligned with Hawthorns, just play wherever there's a spot. So I played forward, missed a goal from the top of the goal square. I think we lost by 30 or 40 points anyway to Williamstown. But so anyway, not a great forward.
Hey, save the AAMI Clangers for later.
Actually forgot about that, yeah. But yeah, that was kind of it. And then that year I spoke to Collingwood and I spoke to Freo. I'm sure there were a couple others, but like it's not as if all 18 clubs were asking what Sam Collins is doing and what he's like and can we take you next year. It was like, oh, maybe. And yeah, it just so happened I got drafted to Freo, pick 55, and that was kind of the start of my AFL
Bradley
journey.
Lloyd, you got to give him a shout out. Lloyd, he's the man. He's out at Carlton and doing good things with that list. But he would have been the one that picked you up. And did you win any awards like best and fairest? Obviously, when you go to when you're in a premiership side or a grand final side, it means that you got a team full of guns and there's a lot of talent there. So did you win anything, or was it literally out of the blue? I don't want you to be too humble here.
No, like it wasn't out of the blue, but it wasn't if I was like a star. I wasn't a state league star or anything like that. Like, there's no Paul AAMI gems of the VFL.
Yeah, Sam Collins but you're playing on like their key forwards of dropped. No,
I would have been playing like 3rd tall. I played against Eric Wallace in the ruck one week. I played forward a few weeks. Like, it was literally just wherever you can find a spot. And yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's not as if I had 22 games of VFL football plus finals, like holding down full back at the VFL. Like, I was maybe the 3rd tall, maybe forward, maybe ruck. So I guess that's kind of why it was a bit surprising.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the draft when I was drafted. I was out having a burger with some mates on my phone.
Oh, wow.
Really? Left that joint and I was just driving the Ford station wagon home and listening on the radio.
So when it was draft night, did you think that you're a chance but you didn't want to watch because you were too nervous or what?
Nah, not like that at all. I was like, I think I'd had 3 years of like going undrafted. As I said, I probably didn't have like this huge self-belief that like this is my year, like everyone's sniffing around me, like I'm going to get drafted. Like absolutely not. And then I just called a couple of mates, went out for a burger up in Doncaster and driving back and I was literally just sitting in the car on, must have been SEN, is that who covers
SEN,
it?
Triple
listening on the radio and it was like pick 55, Fremantle select Sam Collins. And I was like, can you swear on this podcast?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck. just like still sitting in there, like not really in disbelief.
In shock?
In shock, just like, that, is there another one? Like, and it's me, and I like walk inside, and my parents were watching on the TV, and my mum's like in tears, and my dad's like probably even more shocked, and that was kind of it.
It's a special moment, isn't it? Yeah, I feel like it's one of those moments. Now that I've reflected on a little bit of my career, it's getting drafted was so special because for everyone else around you, they were just so happy for you, and you're so nervous, and you don't really know, and you don't think it's that. You just want to you're like, on a list now. I want to play a game. You're thinking next step, but it's such a great moment for all your friends and family.
Yeah, it's an amazing moment for everyone. As I said, it's an amazing moment for you, but the joy it brings everyone else, and not everyone. I reckon I called up my boss that night. I literally just graduated from uni, started this new job for like a month, and I'm packing my shit up tomorrow, and I'm out of here. Like, I'm not coming in for $20 a day anymore.
What were you doing?
I was working for a financial planner down in Baldwin.
Was he flat you left?
I don't think. Had a bit of promise in the financial field, trainer.
I know, he's a smart man, this man. He was doing great things. A Matt DeVore type of operator, no doubt.
No, I don't reckon he was flat. I reckon he would just been flat. You know what it's like drafting on Thursday, you're in WA on Saturday. So it's probably the time thing you would have been flat about. But yeah, absolute whirlwind, and then end up in WA.
And then you're with the train, mate. You're with the boys at Freo. You roll in, and that 2015.
Yeah.
So 2016 pre-season.
So I think you guys were the minor premiers.
So that's the year that the train had his clanger with Cyril Rioli. We'll bring that up again because everyone loves it when I pop myself about that. So that's off a minor premiership. People don't realise this. What I was saying about North Melbourne. Yeah. At the moment, I think they're 0-10 or whatever. I've been there because this is the start of the year. That when you come, it was that was the year that we thought, oh, beautiful, minor premiers got to the prelim. We'll be back next year, and we start the season 0-10, and that's your first preseason and season.
Yeah, that was literally it. Came in, minor premiers, like, how good's this? Like, living the dream. We're in the old sheds at Freo, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, love the Freo. Miss Freo, yeah.
Absolutely unbelievable. And then, all of a sudden we were 16th by the end of the year.
Yeah, the whole thing just turned, didn't it? When you start losing it, and it's tough. And talk to us about what it was like for you, because you're coming in as a young bloke, and we know what it was like with our coaching setups and whatnot. It was a bit of tough love, or just being tough, but it wasn't easy, was it?
No, it wasn't easy at all. It's like you're so excited to be there, and you go there, and everything's surreal. And I think Fifey had probably just won his Brownlow, so probably didn't have time to say hi to me for a few weeks.
Still waiting for him to say good day.
You get in there, and you're like, oh yeah, there's a swimming pool. There's like, how good's this? My locker's a bit bigger than that, and it's unreal, and there's all these people, Sandland's there, like the train's there, and you're like, how
you wouldn't know who I was.
Didn't know who half of them were, to be honest. But, unbelievable. And then to kind of get there, and then when that wore off and you're into it, and you're kind of a bit on edge and you're a bit anxious, and as I said, didn't really have huge belief in myself or anything like that, and then you kind of get into what it was, and it wasn't the perfect journey at all, obviously, and I don't know. How did you find the club when we were playing?
I've reflected on Freo was special, but I just felt like the last couple of years are real tough, and it left probably only now that I started to probably think, geez, you're a bit negative on Freo sometimes when I talk, but because of the last 2 years or whatever, where the first 5 are so special, and I think it was just because we were losing, and I felt like my mates were getting treated poorly, and a lot of them were leaving on bad terms, and the club was just going nowhere really after we were in premiership contention. And once we started losing the key pillars and all the leaders, not even Luke McFarlane and Aaron Sandlands and David, not Mundy because he was there for years, but Pav. And then I remember all the trades we lost, like Maney, Barlow, the Boar, Mzungu. There's a couple more retirements, and then you lose mates like yourself that we just thought should be playing, and they're not. It was just tough the last couple of years, as you know, and. And then I was next as well. I think you might have been the year before me. I was like, I remember tapping the shoulder, make you stiff, and then I'm thinking, now I know what he's going through. Now I know what he's going through. I start to relate, geez, it's actually tough.
Yeah.
And that's why this is great that you're on here, because what was some of the feedback you were getting while you were playing? And people, you can fact check this, but I played a lot of pure footy in the seconds when we were going a bit average. We won a premiership together. One of the fondest memories I've had actually at Pure Thunder. And you were our best player by a mile, one of our most important players. You won the BNF appeal. And it was the year that you got shafted. Well, yeah, I can say you got shafted. It's my opinion. You got shafted and you got delisted and they said you're not good enough. So how was that year for you?
Yeah, so I played 12 games in my first year and thought it was going okay. As I said, I kind of like got drafted as a bit of back, bit of forward. Like, so was always backman, always going to be a backman, but like didn't necessarily have elite back craft. Like, do you know what I mean? Played 12 games, like had bags kicked on me some weeks, like didn't really know how to play, like this and that. And then my second year came around and I only played the 2 games and we'd won the VFL Premiership the year before. We won the VFL Premiership again. We went back, Waffle Premiership rather, with Peel Thunder. So we went back to back. It was absolutely unbelievable. And like the enjoyment you have when you're playing state league footy and winning is like absolutely amazing. And like we'll never forget those memories and those times down there. But then at the same time, you're having this like constant like worry and stress of like, where am I at? Why aren't I playing? Like, what can I do more of? Why aren't I valued here? Why do I feel anxious when I walk in the doors? Like, why don't I really want to be here? Like, why am I, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just not comfortable, like, always on edge in and around the club, yet you roll up on Saturday and you play this great football. So, yeah, it was really challenging couple of years and, and then all of a sudden it kind of finished. And I don't think I deserved another year, but I certainly didn't think I deserved to be, like, delisted. And I think that I had a lot of upside, but then seeing where I'm at now is like, yeah, maybe that just wasn't the right path or the right support or the right coaches to get me to develop. I look back on it and like, I didn't enjoy my time at Freo, but at the same time, it's like that's a really crucial cog in like my ability to be the footballer I am now. So yeah, it's kind of hard to think back on that of like, geez, I wish I went somewhere else because if I went somewhere else, I might have been out the door as well.
Well, I'm the same as you, mate. It was, I got delisted and then got to go meet some of my closest mates now at the Giants and got to meet a whole new family and, got to live in Sydney. Like, if it wasn't for that tough period and getting chopped, I wouldn't have had that. So you got to be grateful for some things. And as they always say, the cliche, but everything happens for a reason. It's kind of amazing how, if you think like that, it is pretty cool how you're like, that was a bit of a negative, challenging time, but all this beautiful stuff happened next. But it was challenging for you. I still, and you know this, like, we were so close and it was, as I said, there were so many people that were going through this. Matt DeBoer, I remember him the year before. I was like, how is he kind of getting treated like this? He's having 40 in the seconds. He's a leader. He helps us. We love him. He literally is like our trademark internally that we have on the wall is everything. He lives it and breathes it. A bit like you. You're so professional. You don't like you're maximising your career every day. I look back at mine, I'm like, man, maybe I wasn't as professional, so I could put my hand up. But for you blokes, it's like, how are they, doing this? And I just remember your BNF speech, how you just said, I just want to, because there's a bit of, there's a few key pillars, there's a key personnel from Fremantle in the room, and we won't name them, but they didn't believe in you, and they were the ones that made the decision. And I remember you kind of said, I just want to say thanks to everyone that believes in me down here because it's been, because there's a few others that kind of don't or whatever. And just remember everyone knew what you're talking about and you're a little bit emotional almost, but you'd had such a great season and you could kind of see the writing on the wall is what was coming. Like, absolutely. I know exactly how you felt. You're out of contract. You're getting told, we don't know yet, mate. So you're thinking, I'm back home and I've got to go find a job. And it's so tough. So, you're right. You summed that up well. And it's good for everyone to listen to this because, it's kind of the reality of footy if you're not in and on the fringe or you're not backed in. But let's talk about what happened next. Like, what happened for you next? Like, I know you had to go back to the VFL, but what were you thinking? Like, what was your headspace like?
Yeah, so I was kind of...
What year is this as well?
This is 2015 I was drafted, played 16, played 17, delisted at the end 2017. Yeah, so at the end of 2017, I was in Thailand with Matt Ubergang, who also got the chop with me, and Ryan Nyhouse and
the horse.
Yeah, the horse, and me and Ubers get the email saying, this is your exit interview, hour long or something like that. Nyhouse got a 10-minute interview like in the morning. I was like, we come back, got the flick. Got the flick, had the BNF the next day, and then so that was that kind of part you spoke about, and then. I could not get out of WA quick enough. I was like, right, pack up all my things, like send them over, like even stuff I didn't need. I was like, put it in the shipping container. They're paying for it. Like I was so pissed off. I was spiteful. I was absolutely everything. I was shattered. I was heartbroken. Like everything. Like, And then, get back to Victoria as quick as I can, move back in with my parents at that time, kind of work out what I'm going to do next. So I kept training, obviously. I'd actually met with Gold Coast at the end of that 2017 season with Cal Burns, met him in Leaderville, had a good chat about things. Like, that was kind of it. Didn't meet with anyone else. Didn't really know how interested they were. And anyway, when undrafted, didn't get drafted again or whatever it is, delisted free agent or anything like that. And then it was kind of like, well, where do I want to play? So I met with Box Hill. It's like, that'd be kind of cool, but was pretty opposed to like an aligned club because of my experience with Box Hill, where you just kind of like, if you go into the gap that's available. The twos had been given the chop by then. So like every Hawthorn player available has to play in the one. So like your spots are limited, not necessarily playing anywhere you want to be. So I met with them, met with Williamstown, with Andy Collins there. Thought that might have been the go. And then I met with John Lamont at Werribee. I actually met with pretty much every VFL team.
The phone blows up, doesn't it? The phone blows up.
He's got the cash, boys.
There's no cash in VFL, no cash. No cash here.
Ended up meeting with John Lamont, who's a pretty highly regarded coach at Werribee, and they'd just gone standalone from North Melbourne. And I ended up signing there. Just had a really great season playing in the back line with like Nick Coughlin. He'd just been given the flick from St Kilda maybe the year before, so we made a pretty good duo there. And pretty much my season was I was marking the ball, like I was just marking everything. I wasn't disrespectful, but like I didn't care where my forward was if I knew where the ball was going, type thing. So. And it's a much simpler game in the state league. Like everything's pretty much.
You don't stress as much, do you? You just you do what you're best at.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's like you play so well in the twos, and then you just can't do that in the ones. It's a different role. You're told don't fly, stay with your men. There's a few more rules.
Absolutely, you're on edge, like all this, all that, and I was just marking all the like the ball goes in a straight line. Like no one really takes it off the line in the VFL, so the ball's going there. So I'm just going to go there and I'm going to mark the ball and I had a really good season. I had a lot of intercept possessions, a lot of intercept marks, still spored the ball really strongly, and don't think there was any great backline craft or anything like that, but I just backed in what I was good at and went and did it. And started speaking to a few clubs in the middle of the year, spoke to the Giants. Wouldn't mind playing with Sam Taylor now.
Jack Buckley's taking his spot.
The game. Might be Nick in the Magoos.
Jack Buckley's just taking that one though.
Yeah. And again, I was working in South Bank in Melbourne here doing equipment finance, and I'm like, come on, Tim's my manager. I was like, come on, mate, let's get this going. Yeah, and then Gold Coast weren't going great, and they got the 3 state league concessions. So I'm actually pick 3.
Pick 3?
Yeah, so I was pick 3 of 3.
There you go.
So I was the last
pick 1 and 2?
Pick 1 and 2 was Josh Corbett and then Chris Burgess.
All pretty big boys.
Then, and then myself. And that was kind of waiting on what Stephen May was going to do. So he left to Melbourne the year I got taken there. And anyway.
Was that the end of the year or the middle of the year?
That was at the end of the year.
End of the year.
Kind of just before the preseason. I
thought you might have been, it's just, you confused me there when you said middle of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've kind of skipped past the Freo, but what was the feedback you got from because I've forgotten to touch on this. What was the feedback delivered from the head coaches, or the head coach and the assistants, mainly them? What they say to you in your exit interview?
Yeah, pretty much. It was a lot about I don't have the skills. Don't think you've got the capability to be an AFL footballer. Was pretty much the short of it.
And how hard is it hearing that?
It's pretty bloody hard. I was on the basketball. Do you remember? I used to wear this headset that Jason Weber gave me, and it was called Neuro headset or something like that. Thought it was going to solve all my worries. And I was on the basketball court every day pretty much with Roger Hayden, doing 45 minutes of kicking.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, I remember going, fuck
Mate,
that.
All
That's what I mean. This is he's an absolute professional. I was like, that ain't helping my kicking. It's like Bulldogs at the moment. They're doing blindfolded goal kicking.
Yeah.
I can tell you now.
Yeah.
Even blind Freddie can tell you. That ain't helping your goal kicking. And it ain't helping.
Yeah, it's not helping my kicking. My issue with my kicking is, A, I don't want to get the ball because I'm too scared of what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to get yelled at. And B, there's so many things when I get the ball going through my head that I don't know what to do with the ball. Because I've got this fear of making a poor decision or making the wrong decision. So it's I'm running around in the AFL. Instead of trying to get the ball, when it comes to me, I'm trying to punch it as far away as I can. So I'm not going to get a handball, not going to get a kick.
Which is not right, is it?
Nah. So anyway, so that was that. So
So you get that feed. So you get that feedback, and then you go to the VFL. Did you break a few records in the VFL? Yeah, you had an don't be humble here. You had. I'm pretty sure there was records broken for intercept marks, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, probably. Like I was probably having 10 marks a game, probably. Yeah.
You were taking the piss.
Yeah. I was taking the piss in terms of marking the ball, that's for sure.
And I remember all us boys were like, well, how the fuck's Colo not on it? Like, what is going on here? And that's when you start going, like as a mate as well. Like, are we seeing something different here or what? Like, this is a gem. Like, this is a gem for someone to pick up, especially you're going to get a rookie list or something. Like, you're paying peanuts. You're going to get absolutely way more out of him, and that's why you're not a rookie anymore or whatnot. But yeah, it was you went and did exactly what you did in the waffle and what we thought you'd do in AFL, which is what you're doing now. Yeah,
well, that's the exact thing. It's like it wasn't a surprise that I played the VFL football I did because like I had played 2 years of it with the waffle. Yeah, like I'd had two years of it beforehand. It just wasn't maybe as dominant, but it was still great football and football that I'm certainly proud of.
Did you build way more belief with that coach at the Werribee Tigers? Like, did he start saying, "Mate, don't worry about what you used to be at Tile. This is how I want you to be. When I want you to play more relaxed and free." Like, was there some things that you still remember and cherish?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember like I met with him. I went and met with a finance broker down Geelong because I thought I'd move with Geelong, and then he sent me a message and said, "Can we catch up at Macca's?" So
Macca's,
Macca's Geelong with Johnny Lamont, and he had his daughter with him, so she was having a happy meal or whatever, and talking about everything, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I've met this bloke like twice, called him on the phone a couple of times. I'm like in tears in McDonald's, like my life's fucked. I hate my work. I hate this. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, feel hard done by. Like, I don't think I'm a good footballer. Rah rah. This poor bloke's probably like, fuck, I hope he doesn't sign. Anyway, signed with them, and that was just kind of the start of it. It was just like, go out and do what you do. It's like you have these great attributes, so just like go and use them, and like don't worry about the rest of them. Like if you don't want to kick the ball, then we'll make easier options for you, or we'll have someone running past handball you the ball, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I can kick the ball, and like I can do that, and I can do this, and I certainly can mark the ball. So that was kind of how it all started, just like a bit of confidence in what I was good at, and then kind of just alleviating the stress and anxiety around like ball use in particular.
It's amazing that you had that much stress and anxiety in such a short time.
Yeah. He's pretty scary dude, our old coach.
Yeah, especially when you make a couple of mistakes in the back line.
Yeah. I remember getting, well, it's me AAMI Clanger for later, but I've had a few
save it. Oh, no, let's go to it. Well, we'll go to it now. We're going to get into it. We love AAMI, and without AAMI, this isn't possible. And as we all have clangers, a bit like we all know my one. I get reminded about it all the time. There's always some clown in the comments just getting around me, just spraying me about the Cyril moment. But what is your AAMI Clanger, Colo? Like, what's the one moment that stands out front of mind, just a big AAMI Clanger?
Oh, it stands out for me. It was in my first game for Freo against St Kilda, and like marked the ball perfectly. Like, anyway, fuck that one up. That one came up in review, and then all of a sudden, it must be the second half. Someone's kicked the point, and I'm alone with the ball in the goal square. Like, absolutely shitting myself. Ross is just, I don't know if you were playing that game, but he circled us all up and went through pretty much every player at half time. Get the ball, like, just me alone in the goal square, and then I kicked the ball out on the full, like my first kick in ever. He's just told me to like literally handball the ball to Hayden Crozier because you can't kick it, mate. And yeah, anyway, that's me Clanger. It's actually not that good in hindsight, but yeah, that's me Clanger.
Oh, it's a mental clanger as well. It's one of those ones you'll never forget. Yeah, I do remember those. That was my last. I reckon that's what it was like. It was just, where are you? Like, and then just, it was always like, oh, fucking hell, the finger's coming. Here we go. I'm right here. You can't miss me, big choppers. I'm sitting right here. Just give it to me, son.
Mate.
Oh, it was just grim. We're getting pumped as well. Like, you couldn't, it's like, we're getting smashed, man. Like, what are we meant to do down here?
I remember my review after Josh Kennedy kicked 8 on me in the derby, and like, you don't have any body work, you don't know how to do this, you don't know how to do that. And I was like, I don't know how to defend right now.
I don't even know what I'm doing here. It's kind of funny, but it's not. Like, it's not funny when you've been in it.
It's traumatic, Shane.
It's traumatic. It is. It actually is. It's a different era. Kind of glad it's shifted a little bit, but we did have a tough era. And then, the reason I love this, we like to joke around, guys, and have a laugh, but on a serious note, what is your best advice to people that might have had that kind of feedback from their boss at work or at another sporting club where they're told by someone else that, is being negative on them and telling them that they're not good enough and not inspiring them and not helping them, just being a bit, just not really helping them mold into the person and athlete they want to be. What would your feedback be to them so they can grind it out and persevere like you have?
Yeah, I'd say it's kind of like Dewey kind of started implementing this with me and then Dimmer now, but it's more just like your strengths are your strengths, so bring those and put time and energy into what you're good at, because like that's why you're selected on the week to week. Like you're a good mark, so go and mark the ball, or you've got really good defensive craft, so go and use that. It's like you can spend your 2 hours a week kicking and you might get these good gains, but then your strengths fall away anyway. So it's like just go and focus on your strengths and the rest, we'll lift that up. But like your strengths are your strengths for a reason. So like let's hone them and make them real weapons. And I think that's worked a treat for me. So
really good advice. And it works everywhere. Like that's why I say if you're an accountant, just be the best accountant. Don't worry about doing everything else. Just be the best accountant or whatever the role is. That's kind of your advice.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're best at going and getting business, then go and get in front of as many people as you can, and then organise a different system so that someone else can then pick up the back office stuff. But if you're great at back office, then go and pair yourself with someone who's great at getting the clients in the door. You know what I mean? Like you can literally take it anywhere, but you do need to have the support from your boss or your coach or your manager to hone your strengths and make them weapons and be supported with the parts you're not so good at.
Yeah, it's great advice, mate. It's awesome. And okay, so the Suns pick you up. Like, fuck, it was a great moment for your friends, family. Like, I remember going, you fucking beauty, mate. Like, about time, like, it didn't take long. I think I said it didn't take long, did it, big boy? No. 1 year and they're starting to see, like, how good you are. But in that moment there, you probably, I don't know, I'm assuming you're more measured and probably weren't as excited. You're like, I've been here before. I don't know what I'm walking into. It wasn't like Suns were flying as well. So what was it? What were you like in that moment?
Yeah, it was early, like the draft's in November or December or whatever it is, and I was told by my manager in like October. So I had a bit more time to kind of sort my life out a bit and like accept what's going on and work out where I'm going. And again, it was super exciting. And I'd actually met with Dewey throughout the year. We were playing Frankston, and I caught up with him and Dean Solomon just in Richmond for a coffee. And they were going to come out and watch the first half because Josh Corbett played at Werribee with me as well. So they would come and have a look at him and they would come and have a look at me. And then halftime they're taken off to watch the under-18s or something like that. And like just the confidence I had after that is they chose to stay for the whole game. Josh Corbett went off with an eye injury at halftime, and I think we were pumping Frankston at that time, and they stayed like the full 4 quarters because they were so happy with what I was doing. So I was like, this might be a bit different. Like, he's a good guy. I didn't get a phone call or a text from Ross in 2 years. And I've like had coffee with Dewey. He's texted me after the game saying like, really, like, thanks for your time. That was like, yeah, like I was super optimistic about going up to the Gold Coast. And then, it was there before I knew it and into pre-season. And, and that was kind of the start of my journey.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's great how it turns around. I actually remember going, it's like, it's not about me right now, but the Giants it was such a family club. And, like I was scared to bring I was scared to bring my family to Fremantle facilities. They never saw them, except for the Coburn when they started saying, bring, we were 0 and 10. They were trying everything at the time. Yeah. But at the Giants, man, like after a game, I only played a few, but like when I did, it was family over and, mate, back to the actual training facility. Boys are doing ice bars, running around the speedos. All the family at the back having a wine with the staff, the coaches. It was a breath of fresh air. It was like Riddles Creek days and Calder Cannons Day. They're the kind of guy. That's what I love, getting back and seeing all the locals and whatever. So it sounds like the Suns are like that, and it is just different. It's just how it was at one place and a different place. It can be done so differently. But yeah, it's pretty cool to hear that as well. And yeah, you've settled in nicely. Like, how many years you been at the Suns now?
So this will be my 6th season I'm into now.
So cool, man. Yeah. So cool. And when did you start to feel a part of it? Like when did you start to say, righto, like take the training wheels off. I'm going to show you what I've got from the leadership aspect on the ground. You're a great leader on the ground as well. When did you start to let your wings out?
Yeah, probably. So I got like put in the leadership group at the end of my second year in 2020, it must have been. And that was kind of like bit of a nice pump up, but definitely didn't. I only played 9 games a season before I had an injury that finished off that season. But I played the first 9 games and was like going all right. But it took me a long time because as I felt like sounds stupid. I was almost like a beaten dog and like from Freo, and I was like just still getting back to like a bit of belief. And I certainly got that at Werribee, and then I was back in the AFL system. And again, you're around these like superstars that you've seen playing on the game, and you feel like a bit of an imposter in there, and am I good enough and this and that. And so like my first season, I was playing every game, didn't necessarily think I was playing good footy, but I was playing every game. It was awesome.
Matchies.
Yeah, matchies, how good. Better than the peanuts I was on back here.
Tuna and rice, aisle 7.
Yeah, can't afford my rent this week. And then the end of 2020, I actually won the best and fairest, and that was probably
That's big, man.
Yeah.
Best and fairest 2020. It's a big moment.
COVID was great for me, but yeah, that was kind of the moment that I was like, I'm actually going all right here. Like, they value what I'm doing, and like, come on, Sam, you need to start believing in yourself a bit. Like, you just won an AFL best and fairest, and that was kind of where it probably kicked off from. That was probably like the I don't really ever need recognition to get after it because like I just in nature I just like I'm like naturally just get after things and just try your best and it'll all sort itself out. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, so be it. But that was kind of the kickstart I needed to be like, you're actually a pretty good footballer, and they've recognised it and they see value in you, and like now you actually need to give them a bit and see value in yourself, and yeah, it just kind of went on from there.
It's good, isn't it? Yeah, it's like that. You just needed, I know you said you don't need a pat in the back, but it's like you just need a little bit of reassurance to say, like, to let the wings out again and say, I can try, kind of let go of the past now, like officially, because I've kind of arrived here, and you can't say I haven't, because I wouldn't have won this award without, living up to the standards that you guys have voted me in for. So it's, I remember I think I was with you that year. That was when I finished up and I was around Gold. I think I might have been staying at your house.
Yeah, you might
I think I was in Isaac Rankin's spare room, and I was a big fella. I don't even know I was in there.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't have had a clue what was going on.
I was actually staying there for a few days at your joint. But I remember that happening and going, mate, that's brilliant. Just from where you come from. And it's only like 3 years. It's fucking crazy when you think about it. And that's why, if you're listening to me and why I'm so passionate, mate, there's not many people I know like you that have done, I think Matt DeBoer's one where he kind of got shafted and everyone's like, how? And then he proved them wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
And become one of the best taggers we've seen. And again, leadership group member, and went to a grand final, and you're still young and on the run with the Suns. But yeah, mate, it's fucking brilliant. It's brilliant.
Thanks, man.
And now that let's start, it's 2024. So since the BNF, but like where like the Suns are someone that, and it's me being honest, they've frustrated me the last few years. They haven't played finals, and they've got the list now. And I feel like a pass mark really is finals this year, and no one is rooting for them more than me. I've been saying it just has to happen, and great blokes, they work so fucking hard. Feels like it's getting there. Like from the outside looking in, I've got no idea because I'm not on the inside, but from the outside looking in, you're starting to go, yeah, they've got the midfield, they've got the core, they've got the pillars, I like the spine. They've got
the full back.
They've got players missing out. Like it's like we joke around about Rat and Brando, but I do anyway. But like the boys are bona fide AFL players that can't get in the side at the moment. It's a genuine thing this year. It feels like you guys are finally on the right track.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you summed it up that it's kind of been, since I've been there, it's like it's been 5-6 years of like kind of no progress externally, but like internally there's been so many foundations laid for us to kind of take off, and as you said, that's where we're at now. Is like we definitely believe that we're capable of playing and winning finals, and that's obviously our job is to do that. So we're looking forward to doing that. But yeah, it feels like it's all started to click a bit. It feels like we're on the right path for that. But as I said, it's been pretty much since I got there. There's just been little things like foundations laid. Like I have no doubt that we're probably one of the fittest teams in the competition, and that's 5 years of getting our ass kicked by Alex Rigby, who's implemented a super program for us that was super directive and looked over. That's now a bit more relaxed, and like there's a lot of trust involved that you'll get your work done and this and that. But we come back in excellent condition, and then Dimmer comes in, and sorry, I shouldn't disregard the 4 or 5 years that Dewey had with us, and in terms of stabilising the list and implementing belief in where the club's going and getting people to stay and getting people to commit and building a real culture of buy-in. And then Dimmer comes in and just kind of everyone's just on board. Like it's all kind of just come to this point now. And I just say the expectations that we play finals and that's one that we embrace because you've said it. Like we've got the midfield, we've got great players like Rat and Brando who aren't playing at the moment. So like the time is for us to play finals now, and we're looking forward to it.
And it's exciting. Like as I said, I think everyone just wants to see you play final and win a final. And then the AFL is so competitive now, isn't it? Like there's no easy. There used to be a few easy games. So you used to be able to go, oh, beautiful, we've got them. But there's just no easy games unless there might be a couple. Actually, there might be a couple, but it's very competitive, and that. You know, you could finish 5th or you could finish 12th by a game. So it's like every week matters. How are you finding like the AFL footy these days compared to when we were playing?
Yeah, you're right. It's literally anyone's game. I still remember the last game of last season, the Roos. They absolutely pumped us, and Nick Larkey kicked like 8 or 9 goals on me. It was like an absolute horror. But that's like where it's at. If you don't come to play and if you don't respect who you're playing and if you don't play your system, then chances are you probably get toppled that week. So, but the beauty is if you do all those things, if you play a system and you play your role and you come to play from the get go and you put in 3.5 quarters at least, then you can get anyone else. So it's like it's a double edged sword that you can pip anyone on the day, but similarly, like you better show up and bring your work boots because someone's coming to take you down as well.
Yeah, it's why it's so good. Who's been the hardest player you've played on, or a couple? Yeah, I know you just mentioned Larky kicked a bag on you and said JK.
Yeah, I've had a few bags kicked on me.
But it's a bit hard. It's a system thing, as you said. So it's never your fault, mate.
Tell you what, the bloody midfield needed to put more pressure on. The Harlem Globetrotters up there. Who's the hardest to play on? JK is still, I think because he got a hold of me really early on in my career. I played on him then at Gold Coast as well a number of times, and the mental battle with myself to get up for that game, I don't think he got a hold of me again. Depends if you got 4 or 5 getting a hold of you or not. At
the Suns' early days, past, not now.
I had real demons on playing against him, and he's a great at the game, an absolute legend.
Was there a manoeuvre that he did to you that you go, wow? Because he would have known you're young. Did he ever? Is there one thing that you remember him doing? Or was it on the lead? Is it double? Did he tick back?
It was on the lead. It was the tick back. It was just outbodying. It was absolutely everything. But what I remember most about him, and it was through his whole back end of his career when I was obviously playing on him, was just the connection and chemistry he had with the ball carrier was like, you didn't have any time. Like it was split second. It was instinctual. Like the ball would come out, you'd get the handball, and he's already put the move on. Like you're way too late to be thinking about any prep work there. So that's what I thought was really difficult about him.
Yeah. And who's your bunny? No. I won't get your hands there.
No, the bunny. I got a hold of Cholly at training a few times last year. But,
he's left at the Hawks now.
He's at the Hawks now. But actually, Dewey did one training session where we played like 20 minutes in our like non-preferred position, and I kicked three in about 10 minutes training.
You can kick a goal from the goal square.
Yeah, as long as it's in the goal square, top of the goal square is no good.
Oh, would you ever? Yeah, I'd love to see you swing forward late. Maybe when you're down by a kick with a minute to go, they might sling you forward because you've got the marking ability.
Oh, thinking about there's a few before me.
What about this is just for the Gold Coast Suns fans and probably everyone that plays their super coach and whatnot. But Jed Walter, as I said, I've seen him play Palm Beach with my mate Benny Mack, and I remember watching him as a 16-year-old, and I went, this bloke's going to be, who's this bloke, And they're like, he's only 16, mate. I'm like, oh, well, and they're like, he's going to go. He's already an academy player, whatever. Is it academy player? Yeah, so he's already picked. I go, this bloke's a superstar. And I remember probably saying the same thing about Jake Stringer. When I was a kid, we played in he was younger than me, but I think I was at school footy and he was 16 or whatever, and I went home that day and said the same thing. I go, I've just seen a really good player. I haven't seen that a lot, but what do you make of him? Because he's a guy that I really like. If I'm a recruiter, I'm really liking him on my list.
Yeah. He's sensational. I think his best characteristic is probably how competitive he is. He's super fit, he's super strong, he's great height, he moves really well, which is all fabulous. It's all great. But like he's got like a bit of dog in him. Like if you're playing on him and you're in front of him, like he doesn't hold back ever. Like he'll take a hanger on you. Like Ross would have baked him if he was playing a friend.
Yeah, so just
he'll go through anyone. He'll tackle anyone. But
goes hard at training.
He's super hungry. Like he'll get after it in the air. Then it hits the deck, and he's like first one putting the chase pressure on. Like
so he does the dirty work as well.
He does a lot of work. Like I don't know what his drive is, but it's like he can kind of just sniff out like getting another touch. Like, oh, there's the ball. Like he's got on tackle him, I get a touch. Like he's just after it, which is super impressive. And as I said, like he's got all the attributes physically. So
yeah, and it's big Kingy up there as well. Like I said, you got all the pieces there for the next 5-10 years. If you all just stick together and keep working together, you've got some serious talent. It's exciting.
Yeah, we've got some serious talent, and I think that's the beauty of it is we've got so many players and so many good players who are super talented. And now with Dimmer, we've got a really clear system and we've got really clear roles. So it's like it's not just 18 talented blokes out there just running around getting a kick doing their thing. It's like you bring all your flair and you bring all your skills and stuff, but like you go here and this time and this is what we want 80% and bring your flair for the 20%. But there's just a lot more structure and clarity so that we're all on the same page while bringing all of our talent in whatever form that is. As I said, like he's massive on sharpening your sword and bringing your weapon. So, it's pretty exciting.
It's good, mate. It's good. I appreciate you telling the whole story as well. As I said to everyone listening, it's I know you're not. You're not humble. You're very humble, and you're not going to pump yourself up. So, I try to pump you up as much as I could, knowing that there's some moments there where you just were shafted, and then you proved you were, and it's kind of good because you're representing a lot of other blokes that didn't get a chance. And like I said, there's a lot of people out there that don't get backed in and they lose confidence. And like you said, your tips about sticking to your strengths, I reckon that's a really good one. And I see the numbers and I see the people that listen to this show, and there's a lot of males that listen to this between that 20 to 36-year-old age group. And I'd imagine there's a lot of people that have gone through a tough time. It's a tough time at the moment out on the streets. So there's for them to reset if it is being tough with whatever they're doing, whether it is, as I said, being at sport or in the workplace, and just thinking about what they're really good at and what they enjoy. It's great advice, actually. It's good. So I appreciate you opening up and talking about it. And I wish you and the Suns boys all the best. As I said, it's been a fucking painful journey cheering you boys on. I can't lie to you because I just you get flirted with. But as I said, there's a bit something different this year, and it's great to see. And it's only the middle of the season. Let's talk about off the field. Who's the funniest bloke at the Suns? Who's a guy that I'd love to roll around in the locker room with? Who's keeping everyone up and about?
Yeah. Oh, obviously, and I think you do roll around with him, but he's the Rat. He's pretty...
Is the Rat still, even though it's not, he's still wobbling the head round?
Yeah, he's still got his head in the game. He still knows how to find a laugh and drive all that stuff. He's a pretty funny guy. Of the younger crew, Mac Andrews coming out of himself a bit. Yeah, he's I
like that.
He's taking it up to Ben King they're on the same stretch of locker, so he's coming for him a bit there. He's a funny character, but no, there's honestly a good mix, and I think the beauty of our team is we are kind of like I'm almost 30 now, but everyone's still like in that same kind of age bracket, and everyone's still kind of having a laugh. So when we get away on trips like this to Melbourne, it's absolutely unbelievable, and some of the lines that come out and people giving each other shit, it's you never get old, you never get sick of it, and that's what footy clubs are for, right?
So good, it's so good.
Yeah.
Off-season travel, you like to go away. Now, mate, you've been hassling me for a pair. I've sent Colo thousands of these Rixies, and he still abuses me because he loses them on the farm, I reckon, all the time. But, mate, I've got you a pair of Soho cherries here for coming on the podcast. Big shout-out to RIXX, who helps support Tommy Talks. Anyone listening, if you want a pair of sunnies, rixeyewear.com.au and use the discount code ACES and you'll get 20% off. I've got you the Soho cherries, great man. So... whack them on. I've heard that you're. They're probably not your vibe. You're more of a straight 180 operator with the
polish a turd train, but you're doing your best with these. I reckon. They're actually not bad. And
you can see yourself in them, mate. They suit everyone.
Nice colour, actually, so you're absolutely right. No, they're great. Thanks for that.
And match the cherry beard. You got the cherry beard and the cherry Sohos.
There's a bit in there. There's actually a few whites coming through now.
Mate, leave them on while you answer this question. I've got a question for you. RIXX on tour is something we always ask the boys that come on and ladies. And if you were to go away for a week and the missus said, Sammy, go away for a week, take 2 of your teammates with you and pick any location in the world and take your Rixies with you, where would it be and who would it be with?
Yeah, it's a great question, Train. I've got Japan next on my list. I know there's more flamboyant locations than that, but would love to get to the snow in Japan. And I'd love to see Big Widow on the skis.
Oh, that would be good.
I would like to see Big Wits on the skis and Shawnee Lemons. He would be coming with me too, I reckon. But These would go all right, I reckon, with the reflection.
Good crew, that. And what are we expecting from that I guess that threesome of blokes? Let me refrain. Those three blokes, there's some big boys. There's Lemons is a pretty handy operator as well. I know you're good mates with him, but what are we expecting? Who's going to be leading the charge? I'd imagine it's you, probably.
Yeah, I'd probably be leading the charge. I actually haven't been out in a long time, so I'm definitely due. Wit's a bit of a rubber arm, but when he gets going, he's good value. Yeah, he's really good value. And you can't go wrong with Lemo. It'd just be funny to just see him away from his kids and his wife, and he'd have a good time. I remember we had a big night out with him, and he just got engaged, and we did card roulette, and he's ended up with the bill himself. But he's like, cop that, and he's had a
credit card roulette. That is brilliant. Well, there you go. That's the two boys going to Japan. Japan's a first, I reckon, for us here, which is good. I'd love to go to Japan. It's one of my favourite cuisines. The Japanese and the Asian fusion type of operation. But everyone that goes loves it.
Can I take these off?
No, you can do what you want. You can leave them on for the brand, or you can take them off.
Just pop them on the top. Yeah, look right. I would love to go to Japan. As you said, the cuisine, there's like the snow, there's absolutely everything. And it's not too far from home train, so I think Virgin have got a good deal on there. I've never been, but I think it's like 8 hours or something, isn't it? So,
well, Bali took me 6 of the week for that.
Looking quite tanned, actually.
Yeah, I got the little bit of tan back. Yeah, which is good because I was pretty pasty there.
Yeah.
Starting to look like you. You still look like Casper and you're living on a Goldie.
What do you mean? This is good colour for me, mate.
Now, before we ended up, so you're on a farm now. So how's all this come about?
I don't know who's told you it's a farm, but
the rat told me you're on a farm. You can't get on to you. I reckon you're just screwing his calls because I'm always telling him, where's Colo? I'm in town. Gather the boys and we'll get a coffee. I'm only here for 2 days. And he goes, can't get on to him. He's on the farm.
Yeah, well, the only time I hear from you is when you need a lift to the airport. Mate, you want to have a coffee and my flight's at 10:45. So I'm
asked you once. I've asked Colo once. That was before Uber was involved.
I used to live out in Tully Valley. We had this beautiful property on the creek, and then we had some massive floods up there. So we sold up there, and we're still out in Tully Valley, which is the hinterland of the Gold Coast, about 15 minutes from Burleigh, and I'm the full back train, so I can't buy on the beach. And if you're not on the beach, then you may as well be right off the beach. So I'm right out the back. But yeah, it's great. My farm's got a horse. It's got cattle dog. He's a golden retriever called Billy, and I've got 4 chooks. So
4 chooks, fresh. They're fresh additions to the farm, aren't they?
Yeah. The last one's got the dog ate the dog. The dog got a hold of the last one.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
But they're pretty new. So I don't know what constitutes a farm, but I would say 3 different types of animals is probably.
Any other animals you're going to add?
I'd love to get some dorpers, which are like they're sheep that they shed, so you don't have to shear them and stuff like that. But no, we're just on a little bit of a property. It's definitely not a farm. Definitely not.
Chickens laying many eggs?
Yeah, one a day.
One a day, isn't it?
Yeah, one a day or thereabouts. So.
Crazy how they lay. Have you ever actually thought, this is a bit weird, but a chicken, right?
Yeah.
And then a hard shell runny egg comes out of their body one a day.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck have you actually
Googled it?
But how does it actually happen inside their body?
Oh, no, it's absolutely unbelievable, but it breaks it down. It talks about how it's all made and what comes first and what comes second. It's unbelievable. And then they just let you take it. They don't even put up a fight.
It doesn't actually sound that strange. If you're thinking about this right now, a little chicken can lay a hard shell runny egg in the middle one a day. And it blows my mind.
Yeah, it's a conveyor belt, really, isn't it? It's just
and we smack them. I'm going to have 2 a day, those eggs.
Yeah, it took me a while to eat them. Yeah, it took me a while to eat
them. After researching what they are?
Oh, I just like looking at it and get a few stinkers here and there. And
on the farm?
No, just like there'll be a cracked one here or there, or like one completely covered in shit, and you're like, oh.
Ooh, yeah. Haven't thought about that.
They're literally fine. They're actually the best eggs you'll ever get. But
there you go.
Had a few double yolkers.
Little choc egg.
Yeah, we need the chocolate chickens. Need the ones that do the Easter bunny ones.
Well, mate, I appreciate you jumping on Tommy Talks, and I appreciate everyone that supports the podcast, especially AAMI and RIXX. Appreciate you guys. But yeah, mate, thanks for sharing your story. It's a cracker, and it's you're still writing your story, as we used to like to say. And what are you now? 29.
Yeah, 29. Still got another 5 or 6 in me.
Yeah, 5 or 6. Couple of BNFs around the corner.
Yeah.
But mate, all the best for the rest of the year. Thank you so much for coming on the pod, and I hope you enjoyed that one, guys. We've had Travis Head, we've had Dane Swan, we've had all these big superstars, and then we got the BNF winner, one time delisted, but two-club player that just relates to a lot of you listening, and I couldn't wait to get you on. So thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Keep winning games, and hopefully, I think we're recording this podcast before you play Carlton, so let's just fingers crossed. No doubt we'll check the stats, but whoever you're playing on, I bet you they have a tough day at the office. That's it. Anything else, mate?
No, we're good, mate.
We didn't plug it. You got any? Sorry, you got any businesses on? Very entrepreneurial. Before I wrap up, you got any business on the go? Do you want to put one out there to see if there's any feedback on it?
No, I'm definitely not putting any out there to be shot down. What were we talking about? Kingy and I were talking about financing private school education.
Okay.
Yeah, so but you never want to be the bank train. You don't want to be the bank. So.
Yeah, well, I saw Commonwealth Bank's shares have skyrocketed the last couple of years. You never know.
Doing all right, that's for sure.
Well, there you go. If you're an entrepreneur and you need some brains, Colo is the man. He's got plenty of ideas and plenty of cash after that BNF 2020. The little cash component in there, I reckon, on the contract. All right, that's us done. See you guys. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week for Tommy Talks. One more time, because I really mean it. I just want to say a massive thank you for all the support you continue to give us at the American Aces. If you want to further support us, make sure you like and subscribe, hit the follow button so you can keep up to date with all our exciting shows and announcements. Righto, now it's time to give our sponsors a massive plug. This episode is brought to you by AAMI. Clangers happen. Lucky you're with AAMI. Aces, I know I always go on about the RIXXs, but I got huge news. We have all our styles and colours restocked on the website right now. It's been months. We ran out of stock, but we're back. Get online, grab some sunglasses at rixxeyewear.com.au right now and use our little discount code ACES if you want a 20% discount code on the house.